What I wish I knew about CCR before they became legends. Creedence Clearwater Revival, or CCR as they are affectionately known, is a band that has left an indelible mark on the world of rock music. Their journey from humble beginnings to rock stardom is a tale filled with passion, perseverance, and a bit of rock and roll magic. You're about to find out. Let's get started. Buckle up as we take a deep dive into the rise and legacy of one of the most influential bands in rock history. Let's start in 1959. John Fogerty, Doug Clifford, and Stu Cook formed a band called the Blue Velvets in El Cerrito, California. These young musicians were driven by a shared love for rock and roll, and they spent countless hours honing their craft in garages and small venues. Their early days were marked by a raw, unpolished sound that would eventually evolve into something truly special. Fast forward to 1964, they signed with Fantasy Records and changed their name to the Golliwogs. This period was a time of experimentation and growth for the band. They were finding their footing in the music industry, and their sound was beginning to take shape. The Golliwogs released several singles, but it wasn't until a few years later that they would truly find their voice. In 1967, things got interesting. The music scene was undergoing a transformation, and the band was ready to make their mark. They were on the cusp of something big, and they could feel it in the air. Saul Zaentz bought Fantasy Records and gave the band a shot to record an album. This was a turning point for the group. With Zaentz's support, they had the resources and the freedom to explore their musical potential. They were ready to take the next step in their journey. They became Creedence Clearwater Revival. The name change marked a new beginning for the band. It was a fresh start, and they were determined to make the most of it. Their music began to reflect their unique blend of rock, blues, and country influences, and they quickly gained a following. In 1968, CCR played their first gig under the new name and released their debut album, featuring their first hit single, Susie Q. This was the moment when everything started to come together. The band's hard work and dedication were paying off, and they were beginning to make a name for themselves in the music world. 1969 was a breakout year. The band was on fire, and their music was resonating with audiences everywhere. They were riding a wave of success, and there was no stopping them. They released Bayou Country with the hit Proud Mary, which hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Proud Mary became an anthem, and it solidified CCR's place in rock history. The song's infectious rhythm and memorable lyrics captured the spirit of the times, and it remains a classic to this day. That same year, they released Green River and Willie and the Poor Boys with hits like Bad Moon Rising and Fortunate Son. These albums showcased the band's versatility and their ability to craft songs that were both meaningful and catchy. Bad Moon Rising, with its ominous lyrics and upbeat melody, became a favorite among fans, while Fortunate Son's powerful message resonated with a generation. CCR even played at Woodstock in 1969, although their set didn't make it into the film or soundtrack. Despite this, their performance at the legendary festival is remembered as one of the highlights of their career. The band's energy and passion on stage were undeniable, and they left a lasting impression on those who were lucky enough to see them live. In 1970, they released Cosmo's Factory, which became their most successful album, topping the Billboard 200 for 9 weeks. This album was a culmination of everything the band had worked for. It featured a mix of original songs and covers, all delivered with the band's signature style. Tracks like Travelin' Band and Who'll Stop the Rain became instant classics, and the album's success cemented CCR's status as rock legends. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Behind the scenes, tensions were brewing. The pressures of fame and the demands of the music industry were taking their toll on the band members. Creative differences and personal conflicts began to surface, threatening to tear the group apart. Tom Fogerty left in 1971, and the band released their final album, Mardi Gras, in 1972 before disbanding. Tom's departure was a significant blow to the band. Without his presence, CCR struggled to maintain their momentum. Mardi Gras was a departure from their previous work, and it received mixed reviews. The band's breakup was a sad end to a remarkable journey, but their music continued to live on. Despite the breakup, their legacy lived on. CCR's music continued to inspire new generations of musicians and fans. Their songs were covered by countless artists, and their influence could be heard in the work of many contemporary bands. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1993, and Proud Mary and Fortunate Son entered the Grammy Hall of Fame. These honors were a testament to the band's enduring impact on the music world. Even decades after their breakup, CCR's music remained as powerful and relevant as ever. Did you know that CCR holds the record for the most #2 singles on the Billboard Hot 100 without ever having a #1 hit? This quirky piece of trivia highlights the band's unique place in music history. Despite never reaching the top spot, their songs were beloved by fans and critics alike. And yes, their music was iconic enough to be featured in Forrest Gump. The inclusion of CCR's songs in the film introduced their music to a whole new audience. Tracks like Fortunate Son and Run Through the Jungle added depth and emotion to the movie's soundtrack, and they became synonymous with the film's powerful storytelling. So, there you have it. The story of Creedence Clearwater Revival is one of triumph and tragedy, of incredible highs and heartbreaking lows. Their music has stood the test of time, and their legacy continues to inspire and entertain. A whirlwind tour of how CCR became rock legends. From their early days as the Blue Velvets to their rise to fame as Creedence Clearwater Revival, the band's journey is a testament to the power of music and the enduring spirit of rock and roll. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to What We Know for more deep dives into your favorite bands. Rock on, stay tuned for more stories from the world of music and keep the spirit of rock alive.